Hello, and thanks for joining us today. This week, we're hearing from Robin, one of our writers here, and she's going to share a little bit about how we as the church can do more to help our neighbors as they're facing insecurities. And you can read her blog post to find out more about what she has to say by clicking the link in the description below. Don't forget to like and share this video and subscribe to our channel and leave a comment with your thoughts or questions. And now, Robin, what are some ways that we as the church just practically can help our neighbors as they might be dealing with different types of insecurities?
So what comes to mind, first of all, is what causes insecurity. And in my mind, that's something unfamiliar has happened. You're confident when you feel a little bit in control and you know what's going to happen next, and this step leads to that step. But insecurity comes when the foundation shakes a little bit, or something has changed and you haven't ever gone through it before. And so I think one of the things that can really bring a lot of security is pointing that person that you're talking to, that neighbor that is finding themselves insecure, that God doesn't change. He stays the same. You can be secure in Christ because he doesn't change. His promises are true. They don't change. And so in our ever-changing world, that can bring a lot of confidence and peace too. I think when somebody is, maybe they don't know Christ and their world is just, they've had a lot of things happen and they're very insecure and don't know which way to turn. Again, pointing them to maybe how Christ has been there for you, how he has sustained you, and he is your confidence. Because when your confidence is instilled in you from either people, you might just get confidence from what others say about you. But when I know what God says about me and who he is to say that about me, that gives me confidence. And so that's one thing I would point out is I would share with that person, you can have confidence in Christ. And you can also point out the things that they are doing well, even in the midst of it. I think that really helps a person to, wow, you're really being resilient. Wow, you are resourceful with what you are doing, even in the midst of this hard time. I can see in you that you've got what it takes to get to the other side of this situation. But I would be careful always to make sure that they know that they've got what it takes because God has given that strength to them. We don't want to steer people towards self-reliance because they're just going to run into another situation again, and then the confidence is all going to fall apart. So keeping them towards Christ and what he has to offer, I think is a great way to help those in need.
Yeah, and I really like what you said about remembering that Christ doesn't change, and that when we have our confidence in that, when we have our security in him, then it's stable, it's steady, and we know it's not going to change. Yeah, that's real helpful. So what are some ways, Robin, that you personally have experienced different types of insecurities, and how have you been helped by other people? How has God helped you through others to kind of overcome that?
I have been in different situations that are very unfamiliar. I spent, at least to me at that time, I spent a few years in another country where I didn't speak the language, and that will test your securities and insecurities, and really keep you reliant on God. And I think I gained a lot of confidence in Christ because I had to totally rely on him, from, getting a flat tire on the road and not being able to know how to get help for that, to just anything, running into situations where you don't know how to communicate, but God would always send somebody to work it out for me. And so my confidence began to get stronger in him. Another time, more recent than that, would be I had put my trust, or maybe trust isn't the right word, but I'd put my confidence in myself because of what someone had said good about me, and I relied on that, and I didn't have my confidence in Christ with what I was doing. I had it in what people said. And so when I let that be my confidence, and then one of those same people would say something that rocked my security, said things that I wasn't expecting, like I wasn't prepared for what I was doing, or I wasn't, I didn't have what it took in a situation. It was really not only painful, but it only took a few comments and previous years and years and years of good job. And so when those kind of things happen, it's surprising how just a little bit, but I had to recognize I'm caring more about what someone says than what God says. And what matters is what God says. And that's where my confidence is. And so I had another friend really point out some good things. They did see that I was insecure, and they lovingly said they could see that something had happened. And I needed to hear that, as hard as that was. But they didn't just leave me there. And they didn't say, well, just go do this and you'll be secure again. No, they were speaking into my life. So they were saying things, I know who you are. I know you're not what this is displaying right now in your life, how you feel right now. They gave me hope because it didn't feel like I was going to get out of this on my own. But when they started speaking to me, I'm thinking, oh, okay, so I'm going to learn from this. I'm going to grow from this, and I'm going to come back out actually better on the other end. And so I think that relationship part, having relationship, people in your life that love God and love you. And so you know that they're going to say the truth, and they're saying it in love, and they don't just, it's not just words. They're walking with you. They're willing to meet with you again until you're built up and you're ready to go again. And then they're happy for you, and they're still there if you should need that encouragement again. But I think that's how God has encouraged me when I've gotten insecure at times in my life.
Yeah, that relationship is really important in that, like you're saying, that they're walking with you. They're not just dropping in, saying something, and getting out of there. So, yeah, well, thank you for this post, Robin. Your suggestions very helpful for us to consider as we're going forward and how we can best represent Christ. So, thanks for watching, everybody. Have a good week.